Hello. Um, Ngayon po, ipagpatuloy natin ang pag-aaral natin ng divine principle na masabi ko na ng divine principle. Ayan po ang turo ni Reverend San Myung Moon na na-receive niya as a revelation while he was searching the Bible and also searching the spirit world. No? Nag-search siya sa lahat ng mga principles of creation. So, pag sinabi nating principles of creation, yun yung law na nakita niya na ginamit ng Diyos sa paggawa ng mundo, ganun. So, pag itong law na to ay hindi yan if this law will be violated, then hindi matutupad yung purpose ng paggawa ng Diyos. For example po, no, meron tayong rule or there is a principle of making, for example, sabon, soap, di ba? Di ba may formula yan na a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Ganun, if you combine all of this, then you can make certain kind of soap. Pag sinunod natin yung formula na yan, then we can recreate, we can remake, we can produce the same kind of soap as long as we follow the same formula. Pero pag iniba natin yun, may pinalitan tayo, then we cannot arrive at the same product. Ganon din po sa principle na pinag-aaralan natin ngayon. Ito pong mga na-discover or na-receive ni Reverend San Myung Moon as revelation ng mga principles, divine principle po to, ibig sabihin heavenly laws, no, heavenly laws na kapag masunod natin to, tiyak na ang patutunguhan natin or ang product or the product after following these principles yung original plan of God na for example, the original plan of God is for us to fulfill the true blessing, maging true person tayo, or in other words, person who inherits the love of God. So, pag sinunod natin yung mga principles, then we can arrive to those things. Okay po? So, ngayon po dito sa section 5 ng Divine Principle, the process of creation of the universe in its growing period. Pag-aaralan po natin dito yung yung time, no? Kung paano or how God created or the universe. So when in Genesis 1, chapter 1, we can see there that God created everything in 6 days. Sabi niya ganun, in 6 days. So, it is called the biblical period of 6 days. So, ano ba yung days na to? Ano yung day na to? So, it is a symbol for 6 periods. 6 ordered periods of time. It does not mean dito yung one day, ikagayang isang araw natin. For example, ginawa niya yung light, ginawa niya yung water. Hindi lang isang araw, yung kundi isang period. And according to the Bible, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years in one day for God. So, kung yung yung one day na yan means thousands of years yan. So, hindi ibig sabihin na isang araw lang nakapares ng 24 hours natin ngayon. Okay po? So, this is a symbol for 6 ordered period of time in the creation process. Okay po? So let's look at the growing period of the creation. So, sabi sa Bible na ang isang araw para sa Diyos ay ganito. There was evening and there was morning one day. Sabi sa Genesis chapter 1. So, every after na makatapos ang Diyos ng isang creation niya, sabi niya, there was evening and there was morning one day. So, ito ang tinatawag na growing period. Kasi, when God created something, He starts from something in the formation at nag-grow yan hanggang sa makareach siya sa completion stage. Now, for example, the tree. Example natin yung tree. Yung tree, hindi naman biglang naging tree yan, di ba? Una muna, seed muna siya, which is formation stage. Tapos, naging seedling siya, tapos naging tree na siya. Pag naging tree siya, perfect na siya, and that's the time na pwede na siyang magkaroon ng fruits. Diba? Ganun po yun. Tapos, pwede na siyang mag-multiply din. So, ganun ang principle na sinusunod ng mga tree, ng mga puno. And the human beings also follows the same principle. Human beings the same has to grow from formation, growth, and then completion. So, ito po yung tinatawag nating three ordered stages of the growing period. There is formation, growth, and completion. Kaya po ang pagkagawa sa universe ay hindi lang bigla. Kunwari sabi ng Diyos, let there be light, and there was light. Ganun ka, biglang nagkaroon. No, it takes a long time, thousands of years to create the light, and thousands of years to create the stars and the universe, and thousands of years to create human being. So, it takes thousands time to create the universe. So, iyon pang ibig sabihin nitong may growing period para sa lahat ng ginawa ng Diyos. Ngayon, human beings were blessed. No? They receive a blessing to become perfect on their character. Meaning, yung first blessing po yung tinatawag natin dito. Yung be fruitful. So, they were given the blessing to become fruitful. And that is by through following these three stages of growth. So, dapat po si Adam and Eve ay maging makasunod sila sa three stages of growing period hanggang sa ma-receive nila hanggang sa ma-perfect nila yung kanilang nature, receiving the love of God, totally one with God's heart and God's will. Pero, si Adam and Eve po ay hindi nila nagawa ito. So, may tinatawag tayong human fall, and Adam and Eve became fallen people instead of becoming true people. Naging fallen people po sila. Naging fallen persons po sila. Pero, God, since God is absolute and He really would like everyone to fulfill these blessings that He bestowed upon us, kaya tayo meron din tayong restoration or ibig sabihin salvation, and it also involves three stages. Okay? So, dito sa mga nature, God created the nature to reach perfection, kagaya nga po ng example natin na puno, by the way of His principle. By principle. So, maski yung plant ay, itanim mo lang siya, tapos nabubuhay siya. By principle. May kasi na sumusunod din siya sa law of nature na lalaki siya, na at pagkatapos pag naging tree na siya, mamumunga na rin siya. But human beings is not created only cannot grow to the perfection or to its maturity by principle only. Meron din tayong tinatawag na responsibility. No, hindi lang tayo governed by principle, but we have a human portion of responsibility. Meron tayong part. Tayo, kunwari, if we just let ourselves grow old without doing our portion of responsibility, siguro magiging old yung ating katawan, pero yung ating nature, yung ating character, hindi siya nagmamature. But if we do our portion of responsibility, both our body and our mind, our character, will become perfect. Ano ang human portion of responsibility? It is by following the will of God. Diba? Kasi meron binigay ang Diyos sa atin noon na commandment. Sabi niya kay Adam and Eve, do not eat the fruit. Diba? Sabi niya gano'n, do not eat the fruit. Huwag niyo kakain yung prutas na yan. Pag kinain niyo, mamamatay kayo. That is the commandment of God, and human portion of responsibility is to follow that commandment. Pero yung commandment na yun, hindi yan naibigay sa mga nature, sa mga tree, sa animals, hindi. Sa tao lang po pinigay ng Diyos ang commandment na yun. Kaya ang human portion of responsibility is by following the will of God. And plus, with the principle of God, then we could really perfect our character. At yung during that time of our growing period, we call it indirect dominion. Indirect dominion means that God cannot relate to us directly. He can relate only to because he can relate only sa mga yung fruits ng principle. So, yung fruit ng principle means pag perfect na yung nature ng isang tao or naging matured na siya, then that's the time that God can relate to that person directly. Pero pag hindi pa po, indirectly niya tayo na ginaguide through His principles. Kagaya po ng nabanggit natin mga principles, through this principle, by following this principle and doing our portion of responsibility, then we could really become mature people and become a person of character.